Okay, looks like we're live now.
Thanks, Paul. Okay, thanks.
Okay. So 4:32, or sorry, 2:32. We'll call the committee of the whole meeting to order. Start with, I'd like to acknowledge that we are privileged to meet on the unceded and ancestral territories of the Squamish and Stratliam nations. And there is a recommendation. Anyone's prepared to make that?
That the agenda of this meeting be approved.
Thank you, Cynthia. Seconder? Anyone? Thank you, Melissa. Okay, I got Melissa. So any objections? So I can't see everyone, so I will think that it's carried. Now we have some minutes there as well. Anyone can do those?
Sure, I can do that. The minutes of the committee of the whole meeting held on December 14th, 2022 be adopted.
Thank you, Cynthia. Do you have a seconder? Thank you, April. Any objections? Hearing none, and that's carried. Another set.
That the minutes of the finance committee meeting held on December 14th, 2022 be adopted.
Thank you, Cynthia. Second. Thank you, April. Any objections? Okay. Hearing none, then that's accepted. That brings us to our trustee items. And I don't think there are any, or I haven't received anything. No presentations. So then that brings us to our information items. Danielle, do you want to take the lead on that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Rebecca. Okay, so I'm just going to walk through the events of the next month. There's quite a bit going on. So next week we have a DPAC meeting. It's next Monday evening on Zoom and January 16th. And the committee members for that are Trustee Bickford and also Lisa Turpin's the alternate. So that's next Monday evening. On January 18th, we have a school learning plan day. And there's just one minor change just for those individuals who will be attending the House Sound Secondary one. The House Sound Secondary and Sea to Sky alternate school have combined learning plans this year. And so there will be a visit to the Sea to Sky alternate school after lunch on that day. So just for your awareness for that one.
Danielle,
Yes.
can I just jump in and say that, well, I guess those aren't on the calendar necessarily because we have an Indigenous education this coming Friday. Indigenous Education Council meeting.
Yes.
And then we're also doing recruitments for the district. What is it? What's the title? District Principal of Indigenous Education. So I will be participating via Zoom on those interviews on the 17th.
17. Okay.
Yeah.
Indigenous councils this Friday.
13th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Sorry if I made just a point of clarification, it is actually a director of instruction.
Director of instruction, right? Thank you. It was district principal one time.
Absolutely, you are correct.
Yeah, so on that note, for the Indigenous Council meeting, that's this Friday. I won't be in attendance. I believe Chris will be in attendance, though.
Yes, it will.
So just for your information, I won't be there that day.
You won't?
No, I won't be there on Friday. Yeah,
Okay.
this Friday I won't be able to make it. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, thanks for clarifying that, Rebecca. I must have missed that somehow. And on January 19th, there's from 5 to 7, there's the BCSDA trustee orientation series. And part of the series that's being put on by BCSDA. So The registration was circulated in the BCSDA weekly email, and also it's available and it should be in all of your calendar invites. So feel free to register for that. If you need help registering, please reach out to Archie Benefel. She can help you with that. And attendance is optional, so don't feel like you have to go, but feel free to attend the sessions if you like. Yeah, so that's that for that session up next week. And then we have a Truth and Reconciliation Education session coming up on the 25th, January 25th. And that will be the morning of January 25th. We're going to be bringing lunch in for everybody. And that's here in the school board office. I think it's from 9 till noon-ish.
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be 9 to noon and then probably have lunch right after that. So. And then the rest of the Indigenous committee they'll continue meeting the rest of the afternoon, but we won't be attending. Well, I might be attending, but the rest of you don't have to attend. Okay, and that's it for that. January 26th and 27th, April is going to be attending the BCPC AGM. It's April Lowe, and February 1st.
Thank you, April.
Yeah. February 1st, we have school learning plans again. And then February 6th is that STA liaison meeting. And I'm hoping Rebecca, our board chair, will be able to attend that one.
Yep,
On
I can
Monday.
attend.
Yeah, great. And then after that, then it's the next thing is our board meeting. It's February 8th. Yeah. That's the next things coming up with trustee calendar.
Did you want to mention also on the 10th is BCSTA partner liaison meeting as well, so there's a couple weeks for our trustees who are attending.
On February 10th.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just want to wear everything before next. board
Oh, the
meeting.
board meeting.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
Well, we will re-remind you on the 8th.
So that, yeah, the partner liaison meeting will be attended by Cynthia. Yeah, so on the 10th. Cynthia, myself and Chris will be going to something for the 10th and, or sorry, the 9th and the 10th. As soon as we're done the board meeting, we're basically busy the next couple days in Vancouver, so. Okay,
And then on Monday, the 16th, I also have a board chairs meeting with the minister.
oh,
So the BCSTA board chairs. Just so you know.
I didn't know about that.
Okay, and then also the 9th, I should be there by noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you got that email?
Yeah.
As well, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's all
Perfect.
good.
Okay, yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, okay, perfect.
Can I ask questions, Jen? For sure. For the DPAC meetings, so I've got them in my calendar. Will we be emailed a link like a couple days before, or it's online presumably, right?
The Zoom.
Yes, there should be a link coming shortly, I think.
I just want to make sure I'm on the
DPAC.
email list, or do I need to reach out to somebody at DPAC, or do you guys
Nope, we
communicating?
provided that to
Okay,
Jen,
so they
Jen
will
is
give it to
supporting
us. Awesome. Okay, can I ask another question?
course.
I've registered for the BCSTA education, like the evening education sessions. Can we build into our meetings just opportunities to debrief or like report out what we learned or talk about it?
It's a great
Because they're monthly, right? I think they're every month.
That's an awesome idea.
idea of all of
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so if I make that request now to agenda setting people.
Yeah.
Please, can we build in the opportunity to just small amount of time to talk about that?
Awesome.
One more thing. I'm really sorry, the 25th, so I emailed Danielle to let her know I couldn't attend on the 25th, and I'm sorry just because we have the school learning plans and because I work full-time, taking another morning off, so any opportunity to put those on the same day as these meetings or something like that. I know it's a very, very long day then, or do things in the after work hours, anything that cannot require us to have to take 3 days off in a month it's a lot. So that's just my request to the board to say if there's any way to plan for people that it's really difficult to get to plan of work. Really.
Okay, thanks, Les. I sent that to you, Rebecca. I
Thank you.
think. Hopefully. you saw
Yeah,
that.
I received that, we all work full-time as well. So, you know, I'm trying to make it work as best I can and put the hours in. And I think that we generally we're trying to keep things on Wednesdays. Just for, so that everyone can book that time. So, and I understand that it's a bit busy when we do the school learning plans, but they're already quite intensive days on their own. Especially when you add commute time to some people as well, so farther commute. So I think staff is doing the best they can with our schedules, and I guess if you can't make it, you can't make it. So we'll try to work around what we can. And these ed sessions that are coming forward were requests from the academy that individuals wanted more training with BC, trustees wanted more training with BCSTA. And then when we did our own review of the board, there was quite a bit of indication there that there was a desire to have a lot of different training opportunities provided to trustees in our own district. So I think that the staff is trying to help us achieve our goals that are identified in there. So that's it. Thank you. Was there anything else on the agenda or on the calendar?
Does anybody else have any things that they don't think they'll be able to make? Just want to see if there's any other scheduling conflicts for anything. Does anyone have any? No? Melissa, you're good?
Okay, let me go back to,
Oh, Melissa, you're muted there.
okay, we had, well, it's already, we already spoke on the Truth and Reconciliation ed session.
And sorry, the Truth and Reconciliation, is that something that we all go to or just Danielle? That wasn't clear.
That's
Right.
for all trustees.
Okay,
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's a board training session.
okay. That's what I thought, but I just wasn't sure.
Okay,
Yes, so that's a session that we did one last year and it was really good. I think we're gonna try to probably do that every year. But basically the board education sessions are sessions that, we'll get to that in a minute, but they're sessions that anybody's interested in getting training on, they can make a recommendation. We'll go through that in a few minutes on anything they would like training on specifically. So, and so that's one of the topics that it looks like we'll probably be having every year. Just a session for the board members to have on Truth and Reconciliation.
There's always a lot to learn, so I think that's great.
Mhm.
And then the February 24th, 25th, this is all of us as well. And sorry, did you say this one was Zoom? The BCSTA Provincial Council?
Rebecca, are you okay if I go to that next on the agenda?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I thought it was already discussed. Sorry.
No, not yet, not yet. Okay.
Really hard to
Okay.
hear you guys.
You can't hear?
Like, it's really hard. I'm okay. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
Why don't you try headphones? It's better.
Do you have headphones, Melissa?
I just sent a message to Hunter to ask him to find them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
also.
I had to put my AirPod in order to hear. It was
Yeah.
pretty.
I left them in the car. I asked him to get them, but I'm not sure if he's caring enough. He might
Okay.
be.
I'll also speak into the mic. Is that a bit better?
Yeah, thank you.
My voice. Oh, okay, sorry guys. Okay, for the BCSTA Provincial Council. So the two dates there, the January 25th and the February 24th. So these are dates that are out there for any board who wants to make a motion to BCSTA, so the trustee organization. If if a board wants to make something to advocate for something, this would be the time to put together a motion to request something. So the BCSDA Provincial Council deadline, the January 25th one, is specifically for emergent items. So something that can't wait for the AGM that's coming up in April, I think. So if you have something that's like an emergency item, that's the deadline for that, January 25th. Now, the BCSDA Annual General meeting, I believe that's in April. That one, you have a bit more time to, if there's anything that you want to put forward for the AGM. And so what does happen at the AGM is that all the trustees attend the AGM and they will be voting on any motions that other boards have put forward. So if you have something specific that you want put forward for the AGM to be voted on by all the boards and all trustees, that's the deadline, is February 24th. So I just wanted to see if anybody had anything, first of all, like as an emergent motion, or if there's anything you want to think about for the annual general meeting that's coming up. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions about what I just said or how it works? No?
I guess not.
No?
There's nothing that comes to mind for me as anything that's emergent.
Okay. Good. You good too? Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Now, we're toggling back and forth here. So that pretty much covers off the Provincial Council and the BCSTA general meeting. And so now we're at the Board of Education session topic. Do you want to take the lead on this one as well, Danielle? Did we
Sure.
do we still have things on our list?
We may have a few things, but we have covered a bunch of it. So,
Yeah, because we did the ombudsman, the truth and reconciliation.
yeah, we did truth and
First one.
reconciliation. Then with the new trustee orientation, we did a whole bunch of budget things. So we can just do, we have a Robert's Rules of Order coming up. So we can think about even like for this year and for next year, if there's anything else specific that anybody is interested in getting training on or learning more about. This is an open, discussion for any suggestions on anything, absolutely anything that you might be interested in learning about. And some of the trustees that have been here a while, you may have some suggestions as well for that might be helpful for new trustees or, things that you enjoyed in the past that you might like to see again. I'll leave that up to you guys to discuss. So.
And what was it we generally try to do 4 a year?
I think about 3 to 4.
Yeah.
3 to 4 a year.
Depending on, and that's where we'll really try to be thoughtful and ask us to be thoughtful about what may be happening during the school year, where some years we may be able to do 4, others we may want to just stick to 3 because there might be other things taking up the time. And if it's a substantive item, then this discussion, is this a 90-minute session, a 3-hour session? Would people like the whole day? And then that would just be a discussion on, does a whole day potentially then replace another 3-hour session so that it's not too onerous for staff. Right, just respectfully, but we're also running the district. So that's always a discussion. I think some things in the past that have been helpful in addition to the things we've already covered. I know there's always lots of questions about how we support students, neurodiverse students, or just inclusion for all kids. So Phil is always ready, willing, and able to come and share a really great overview of how we still call it special education until the new manual comes out. So how special education services works in SD 48. So those kinds of information sessions are usually really well received, and there's lots of great questions that come out of that. So that would be one I'm always interested in supporting. I also would say that as we embark next year, and I'll speak to a little bit later too in the open, on our Indigenous graduation requirement. As separate from the Truth and Reconciliation, just, a session again on how are we decolonizing education in SD 48 would also, I think, be of interest to folks. Because I suspect that will be an ongoing work of the district in the future. So those kinds of educationally focused topics, I think, are really, really valuable. And anything else, I would ask people to think back to the BCSTA Academy, where I think they actually did quite a great job of some good overview of topics. And I'll just ask folks to maybe reflect again on those experiences and think, gosh, I learned a lot about X, but I'd like to go deeper. And we're happy to support best we can, best learning in those areas.
I thought at the Academy, they did a good job on the Indigenous grad requirement. So I haven't looked on the website. I wonder if any of that information is available for a refresher. But is there anything that comes to mind from trustees on any educational topics you'd like to for board training?
Rebecca, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So the hub, I think any of the topics on the hub are good for if you haven't already had a look at what is on the BCSTA hub. And I think that if the new trustees have a look at what's there, read through it, and then think about what might be helpful to then discuss as a group. I also purchased in my first term probably 3 or 4 books, and I think we were given one as well by the district on like functioning boards and how to work together as a team. So there's lots of literature. I think maybe like I'm a reader, so I like to invest in literature, and so perhaps we could table this for the next meeting, let the new trustees look at what's on the hub, share around some books, and then talk about it next month.
Sure.
Yeah, and also if there's anything that comes to mind that you're interested in, you can also just send Danielle, I think, an email. Danielle, would that work with you?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Where are we? So I think that wraps that. No action items. Any questions of clarification from the public?
Let me just check. Nope, no questions.
Okay, well, we have concluded the business of this agenda, so that would bring us to adjournment at 2:55. But before we go, so our next meeting is not scheduled to start till 3:15, but if we start earlier, we can have a longer break.